Hello, Jason and I are very excited to welcome you to our very first video, where we attempt to use AI to help us with our task of delivering valuable business analysis and solution design artifacts. The first and most obvious thing you will notice in these videos is that our voices are AI generated. We have used an application called Descript for that. This is version 1, and we will be experimenting further in the future. That being said, please be reassured that the content and ideas are generated by us, not by AI. You will also see the use of AI throughout this presentation. Whenever we face a technical challenge causing a blocker, come across an unknown subject area, or need to add extra quality or due diligence, we have turned to AI for assistance. This includes showing you our first AI augmented custom data visualization, which, Blue Peter-like, we will demonstrate how to create. This is a simple proof of concept of a bowtie pipeline created using a JavaScript visualization library called D3JS. Here, you see it shows a notional sales pipeline with actual values at each stage. The stages represented here are dummies, but in reality, they would be defined by the business. Whatever makes sense as a step along the customer journey could be tagged and reported. It also demonstrates some very flexible interactivity as follows. You can toggle on the budget to show some favorable or unfavorable variances. You can toggle on the prior month to show whether things are improving or degrading. You can toggle on a future period forecast. We are going to show you how this was made and give you the code that represents a very simple proof of concept. In future videos, we will iterate on making this proof of concept more functional. However, we also want to package this up into a more interesting and complete business analysis project. So if we start with a high-level user story that could give business context to this, it could be as follows. As a sales manager, I require a visualization to help manage my end-to-end SaaS metrics performance. The visualization will show performance at a point in time, all the stages of the customer journey, all relevant metrics to measure the customer journey, performance compared to the prior period, budget, and forecast. In later videos, we will return to this user story and improve it. But for now, let me just run through some of the elements that we will cover in response to this user story and will cover in more detail in future sessions. The business domain area that we have chosen for this is to base the business model on what is called a SaaS metrics approach. If you are interested, the best resource is the work of David Scott. We will be linking this to concepts of data mesh and data products. Once again, don't worry if you aren't familiar. We will cover that in later sessions. We will be exploring whether we can use behavior-driven development to tie the business requirements right through to the automated tests, which will be interesting because there is not much literature about BDD used in relation to business intelligence. Now we come to the two areas that we will explore in a little more detail in this session. The first is custom data visualizations using the JavaScript library D3JS. The second is the idea of the Bowtie Funnel as a mechanism of tracking performance of the end-to-end business model. Finally, we are going to make extensive use of ChatGPT to pull all of these things together. The Bowtie Funnel extends the concept of a sales funnel by recording steps to the right-hand side of a central monetization event or process. For us, it can be used to represent the idea of end-to-end business model management from customer acquisition to customer retention and customer lifetime value, which are key elements in the SaaS business model. There are lots of attractive pictures on the internet showing how it might be visualized. However, when it came to matching that with the standard out-of-the-box visuals in tools such as Power BI or Tableau, we thought they were a bit lacking. Therefore, we took this as a good opportunity to explore a custom visual and to feed that back quickly as a possible solution designed to match the requirement. The visualization library we chose was D3JS, which we think is the industry standard for custom data visualization. Rather, Thagpan offer a suite of standard objects like bar charts and pie charts. It provides the individual building blocks of marks and attributes that you can combine into your own structures. To shortcut the process of learning the detailed syntax, we use ChatGPT to generate some code to get us started. The first thing was to draw a representation of what we wanted in Visio, Draw.io, or some other diagramming package. This is exactly the way that you might start in a standard user requirements gathering activity. We drew just enough to capture the essence of what we wanted. I then copied the image and saved the SVG file of that visual and fed them both into ChatGPT along with a prompt. Here you see I have asked ChatGPT to generate some code based on my instructions, and you see with a couple of iterations, it is starting to get the idea. You could continue to iterate without inspecting the code or start to look at what is being generated to learn how it is behaving. It really wasn't very long before I was able to finesse what I think is a first proof of concept. Here you see I can show actual performance for a set of sales stages. The different colors represent pre and post monetization, and the red at the end indicates churn. The pastel colors are chosen to indicate that any color scheme is possible, but also to make overlays more obvious. The next step is the interactivity, which is necessary given the multifaceted requirement. This is my go at responding to that need with a set of interactive features. Firstly, you could overlay the budget and show whether performance was favorable or adverse. You could overlay the prior period to show performance month over month. You can overlay the future forecast and compare that to next month's budget, which could be a very powerful insight in that it shows you the variance and sets you a future challenge to intervene. To start with, you might want to reveal just a couple of layers at a time to manage cognitive load, but the flexibility is clear. So this is our first iteration of a proof of concept custom visual to feed back to the client in response to their requirement. We have glossed over a lot of elements that we will start to explore in future videos. We welcome feedback and any ideas for improvement.